Hey, you guys. I wanted to come on here and share a very interesting dream I had early this morning, which is Thursday, September 24th. Before I dive into this video, I do want to make the point to say if you can please like this video to help push this video out so the YouTube algorithms can recommend this video. I would really appreciate it if you could do that for me. With all that being said, early this morning, I had a dream that I was in a house. And I remember I was looking at my clock. I had a watch on, and I haven't worn a watch in a very long time, but I was wearing a watch in this dream. And I was looking at the time, and the time said 10:40 p.m. What was very odd was I noticed that all of a sudden this bright light just shined through the window. And I was very puzzled by that because, of course, if it's 10:40 at night, it would be dark outside. But there was a bright light that shined through my window that radiated the whole house. So I'm walking towards the window and I can't see I couldn't see where all this light was coming from. It literally looked like the sun was shining. And I thought it was so odd because I was thinking to myself, how could the sun be shining at 10:40 p.m.? So as I'm still gazing out the window, trying to figure out what's causing all of this light to shine through the outside area and also into my home, I happened to see behind some trees this object moving towards my view. And you guys, what I saw was what looked to be a very strange planet. The color was green, but it was like a kind of like a forest army color green, and it had black circles as the design all around this planet. So just picture a circle planet that was I would say was more of a dusty army color green, and black circles just all around this object. As I'm looking at this, my natural instinct was to try to capture it with my phone. I'm trying to hurry up and put it on record, but by the time I was able to put it on record, I no longer saw the object. So I remember in that moment, I was thinking to call my husband because I was waiting on him to get home. And I wasn't able to get through to him at that time. But after I saw that, there was like some kind of, I don't want to say it was an explosion because there wasn't no fire and it wasn't like anything to that nature, but something had kicked off from the planet. I don't know how to explain it, but something had kicked off from this object or whatever it is. And I saw it go towards my next door neighbor. And it's weird because the house that I was in and the house that the next door neighbor was in, it almost looked almost similar. And underneath the porch, it looked like there was kind of like an opening, almost like maybe a storage area that was underneath this porch foundation of the house. Something kicked off from this object and it went inside of the storage area under the porch. And I saw the same thing happen when I was looking at my house, because at this point I was standing outside and I saw it kick off this object and it went under my house. I don't know what it was. So after that, I started seeing all of these people just rushing towards my house and kind of in the area where the next door neighbor was. And it seemed like these were people who, like, I don't know a lot about the different positions people hold that are into, all of the stuff that comes with, outer space and all, I don't know. But there were a group of people who just started rushing towards the area where I was, and they was blocking off certain areas of my home and the next door neighbors, and they was doing like an investigation. And I remember they had certain parts of my home blocked off, and there were people kind of coming in and out of the house, and they were asking me questions. And I remember at one point, a lady was asking me, like, what all did you see? And I was telling her, and I also had mentioned, I was trying to record it on my phone. And when I said that, she was like, I need your phone right away. And I almost had the feeling like, kind of like in the movie Men in Black, when they witnessed certain events taking place and they wanted to erase that information because they didn't want that information to get out. That was kind of the device that the woman held up in her hand, because she was about to scan my phone to erase anything that I may have recorded. And I told her, no, I wasn't actually able to record anything because the object had left by the time I was able to, capture it on my phone. And so, as she was asking me to describe what I saw with this object, before I could even tell her what the object looked like, I think it was the woman or it was another guy because it was a few men too that was in the house. I think it was either her or a man was in the area, and before I could say anything, they was like, it was a green object. Like, how did he know that? And I was like, yeah, the object was kind of like a green color and it had black circles all around it. And when I was describing it, the look on their face was like they knew what it was, but I didn't know what it was. So as the dream progressed, I started noticing very weird things begin to take place. And this is where I began to tell you guys what seemed to come from that object that I saw in the sky. The first thing that I noticed started appearing in the home that I was in. And the people were still kind of in the midst. I saw two babies. And I know this is weird, but on the outside, it looked like they were normal human beings. But my spirit knew that these were not humans. I noticed that there was also, and this is going to sound strange too, but I saw what looked to be little dinosaurs kind of running around in this home that I was in. And the people were chasing after them because they was trying to capture them for evidence, for whatever purposes, because they were investigating this object that had came into our earth, into our planet. And this is another aspect of what came from this object. It looked like little dinosaurs. And all the while, you guys, I'm in this dream, just kind of like taken back, like, okay, why am I seeing this? So I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing them gather. As they would gather the evidence, they would take it outside and they would put it into their vehicles or what have you. The next thing I noticed was, and this is another thing that was strange, I saw these, and what made me notice, let me back up, what made me notice something was going on. There was a guy who was in constant pain. Now, this was a random guy that was also in my house. He was laying on the floor and he was in constant pain. And I was trying to figure out what was going on with him because at one point he seemed normal, but then all of a sudden it was like something was happening that was causing him like just this major pain. As I was trying to focus on what was going on in the dream, it zoomed in to what was going on. And there was some kind of, just describing this gives me the creeps, y'all. It looked, the best way I can describe it, it looked like a really fat caterpillar. It was about that long, maybe about that wide, if y'all can see. And I'll say about that long. And it was red. It was like a reddish with a little bit of white kind of intermixed into the outer covering of this thing. And it was biting the man. And I'm telling you, if you could, this is a grown man, y'all. And the size of that thing, whatever was in it that was, when it would bite the man, whatever was in it, I don't know if it was some kind of venom or poison, I don't know, but whatever it was lethal to the point where this man was literally in pain. Like he was just crying out in pain. One of the people, they saw it crawling on the man and they gathered it with, it looked like it was a plant. It was some kind of plant they had in their hand, I guess, that attracted these caterpillars to it, and it went on without any problem. And they put it in a bag and they took it outside. Now, after that, we were walking again through the house and we noticed another one. And this one was just kind of sitting off to itself. Now, as I'm watching it, now mind you, the dream is causing me to focus on certain things that's going on. As I'm walking, I see this same, what looked to be like a caterpillar. It had, there was another type of bug or something. This bug was kind of big. But the caterpillar took one bite into this bug and it literally took 2 seconds for the bug to die. Like it was like one bite and that bug was dead. In that moment, I knew that this thing is very poisonous. Like it's very, whatever it has in its body is lethal. And I had the feeling too, like, after I woke up, when I freshly woke up, because what was really weird last night was I kept waking up throughout the night, but the dream kept continuing. So it was almost like it was meant for me to have this dream. But during the period of time where I had woke up just a little bit from this part, I started thinking about the book of Revelation. when it talks about how there will be like what looks to be scorpions that will sting people on earth that are left behind. They will sting them for 5 months. And the men or the people who would be here going through that, they will be crying out to God to die. Like they will prefer death over that torture, over that pain. When I lay back down, again, it was like the dream just kind of continued on, and I'm still seeing the same scene. It's just more is playing out. And I remember seeing where there was these people were still in the home, and they had captured someone. They had him kind of bound, what looked to be a human. They had him bound in this, I don't even know what it was, what it looked like. It almost looked like kind of like a stretcher, but they had him bound and they was waiting for backup. And so when backup came, they let the man stand up, but he was surrounded, so he couldn't do anything to escape. But you guys, again, on the surface, there were, oh, it just gives me creeps. On the surface, he looked to be like human, but his body, the structure of his body was off. It seemed like his body was like narrow and then it widened down a little bit, if that makes sense. I just knew that this wasn't a human being, but I knew in the dream that whatever this was, they were trying to mimic the body structure of a human. And they ended up taking this person out of the house as well. And I had the feeling like all of these weird events that was happening, it had came from this object, this what I believe to be a planet. And after I saw that, again, I kind of woke up a little bit and then I lay back down, and I'm dreaming that I am talking to someone over the phone about everything that I'm witnessing or everything that I had witnessed about what I saw, and just explaining to them what I'm explaining to you guys. And it just seemed like the dream just kept giving me a little more pieces, a little bit more pieces, and finally I just really woke up from the dream. Let me first say as a disclaimer, no, I don't watch crazy stuff on TV. I don't watch crazy movies. There was nothing that entered into my eye gates that would cause me to dream something like this. Like this was definitely nothing inspired by eating too much food, because I wasn't even eating yesterday. I was on I had did like a fast yesterday, so it wasn't something that I ate. This was very bizarre, but at the same time, I felt like it was significant to share, because we don't know everything that goes on in the spiritual realm. God only allows us to see certain things, and for whatever reason, I was shown this. Now, what really stands out to me is when this object appeared, it brought forth so much light to the point where it changed the atmosphere from night to day. Because remind you, it was 10:40 p.m. when this object arrived. It acted as a sun. That was how much light it radiated. So that was one thing. The color and just how the object looked within itself was very bizarre to me. And like I said, the different things that started appearing after this object had came, I knew instantly that whatever this object represented, or whatever, if it was a planet of some sort, whatever came from this planet, it was completely different and abnormal from what we as human beings and as people who live on planet Earth are used to seeing. Like everything was just different. So I don't know, you guys, I just really felt led to share this. I definitely felt that it was significant to share because there were so many different details to this dream. And, even when it came to me seeing the two babies, and when I say babies, these look like little infants, maybe like, I would say maybe 5-6 months. That's the size of these babies, how it looked. And normally I have dreams of babies where, and it's not all the time, but periodically I will see myself taking care of babies, feeding the babies, changing the babies' diapers. This one, it was like in my spirit, number one, I knew these were not like human babies. Number two, I did not feel led to want to take care of it. Like there was something within my spirit that felt almost afraid to be around these babies because it was just it was not right. The whole scene just didn't feel right to me. And like I said, spiritually, I was being led to understand what I was seeing, why these were not normal babies, and also the man that I saw, he looked somewhat to look human, but I knew he wasn't human. Just the way he was, it just seemed like the outer shell was so off and distorted. You just automatically knew something's not right. And this man looked to be almost 7 feet tall. He was very tall, and he just, the way he walked and leaned, it was like he was kind of lopsided. Like it was just weird, just weird. And then, the other detail that stood out to me, like I said, was this, what looked to be a caterpillar. That's the only thing I can describe it as, but the color was red. It was like it wasn't like a vibrant color red, but it was like a light color red. And whatever was in that whatever it was, there was a lot of venom. And the way it was torturing that grown man, I mean, he was just in excruciating pain, y'all. And like I said, it instantly, when I woke up from it, it made me think of the book of Revelations. So, I mean, the book of Revelation. So I don't know, y'all. I just had to come on here and share this. I just thought it was very detailed, very interesting, and I'm gonna leave it at that. If I receive anything else, I will definitely let you guys know. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you later. God bless. Bye.